Hello everyone, this is Sir Natural speaking, version 10. As you see, the microphone was red, that means that the microphone is off. As soon as I get green, it will record everything what's being said. This work is not a comprehensive history of the Kennedy presidency period. It is a personal memoir by one who served in the White House during the Kennedy years period. New line. A personal memoir, at best, can offer only a partial view, period. Just even, wow. The present day, sorry about that was wrong. The presidency is such a complex institution that only the president himself can fully know his problems and his purposes, period. Wow. John Fitzgerald Kennedy has intended to write the history of his own administration, period. No one else will ever be able to achieve the central, the presidential, perspective of these years, period. Even the public official close to Kennedy, then the Attorney General of the United States, looked at the White House papers after his brother's death, was astonished at the variety of presidential issues he had not known about before, period. New line. A presidential associate, moreover, inevitably tends to overrate the significance of the things he doesn't know about, period. Grace Chuley, who was Franklin D. Roosevelt's personal secretary, actually observed the books written by the men around FDR. None of them could know that for each minute they spent with the president, he spent 100 minutes by himself and 1,000 more with the scores of other people. To reject, improvise, weigh and match this against that until a decision was reached, period. Yeah, it's a little rubbish here, right? Okay. New line. This book, for example, deals largely with foreign affairs and only occasionally records President Kennedy's intense feeling about his own country and his deep desire to improve the quality of life and opportunity in the United States, period. This was an animating purpose of his presidency, but as one only irregularly involved in these matters, I have less to say about them, period. Similarly, others who have to describe in greater detail President Kennedy's relations with Congress and with party politics, period. This presidential perspective on his administration is now tragically and irretrievably lost, period. But sometime in the future, an historian, today perhaps a very young man, will read the volumes of reminiscences and analyses, immerse himself in the flood of papers in the Kennedy Library, and attempt by the imaginative thrust of his craft to recover that perspective, period. That's pretty good, isn't it? He will not attain it, but he will do the best he can on the basis of the evidence and his own insight to reproduce the form and color and motion of the years and they unrolled before the occupant of the Oval Room, period. I hope that this and similar books published in the time between may advance his task, period. Now, if something is printed wrongly, it can be also that I didn't I didn't do it right. For instance, here I said emotion of the years. Let's see, of the years as they unrolled before the occupant of the Oval Room. I just said something wrong. But the real, maybe it's here, something like this. Okay. Where am I? Oval Room? Where is not not yet, right? For the occupants of the Oval. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. Okay. A number of my colleagues in the Kennedy administration helped check and supplement my own recollections as I worked on this book, and I am deeply grateful for their assistance, period. But the reconstruction of past events is exceedingly difficult, if not impossible. And, when I have been confronted by diverging judgment and memories, I have had no choice but to consider the evidence as best as I could and draw conclusions of my own responsibility. Therefore I am, as author, totally and exclusively accountable for the shape that incidents and people assume in this narrative, period. I do wish, however, to express special thanks to Nancy Riley Newhouse for valuable assistance on research and to Gretchen Stewart for devoting and unstinting help in every aspect of this undertaking, period. This work is based on papers as well as on interviews and recollections, period. Every statement, I believe, has its warrants. But in order to protect confidential communications, it has seemed better not to give a systematic indication of sources of this time period. A fully footnoted manuscript will be deposited under seal in the Kennedy Library, along with my own White House papers, period. After an appropriate interval, these will be open to scholars, period. New line. Many of the quotations come from a journal I kept through these years, period. At the start of his administration, President Kennedy said that he didn't want his staff recording the daily discussions of the White House, period. Remarks tossed off gaily or irritably in conversations he knew looked very different in print, period. He mentioned Henry Morgenthau's solemn chronicling in his diaries of Franklin Roosevelt Dukakis during the gold buying episode of 1933. Dukakis. And he wished no restraint on his own freedom of expression, period. Yeah, I think it's wrong to, I wasn't pronouncing that word Dukakis, I believe it is, and I tried to do it the second time, but you shouldn't do that because it has to fit in the context of the whole sentence, I believe. So let's go on. Accordingly, my White House notes for the first weeks were fragmentary, Then after the Bay of Pigs he said, I hope you keep a full account of that, period. I said that I understood he didn't want us to keep full accounts of anything, period. He said, no, go ahead, period. You can be damned sure that the CIA has its record and the Joint Chiefs theirs, period. We'd better make sure we have a record over here, period. So you go ahead, period. I did, period. None of this, I fear, can come close to recapturing the exceptional qualities of John F. Kennedy as a man and as a president, period. But I hope it will suggest something of the way in which he quickened the heart and mind of the nation, inspired the young, met great crisis, led our society to new possibilities of justice and our world to new possibilities of peace, and left behind so glowing and imperishable a memory, period. I have the feeling that no, I thought I had my quotes, and that I couldn't get anything more, but it's not the case. Let's see. What's the last? Freedom of expression. Accordingly, my White House notes for the first weeks were fragmentary, Then after the Bay of Pigs he said, I hope you kept a full account of that, period. Now I have some problems here with showing it right. Oh, that's the way it has to be, okay? Okay, then sorry for the delay. I said that I had understood he didn't want us to keep full accounts of anything, period. He said, no, go ahead, period. You can be damn sure that the CIA has its record and the Joint Chiefs theirs, period. We'd better make sure we have a record over here, period. So you go ahead, period. I did, period. So I think we have some trouble here. Maybe not, I don't know. I think we're going to stop now. I hope you like it, guys.